Hey, it's Melissa with Homeschooling with Melissa. If you're new here, I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kiddos. I have a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. And we've been homeschooling since my 9-year-old was 3 years old. So today we are going to talk about a really amazing curriculum from Timberdoodle for social skills. You know that anytime you bring up homeschooling with basically anybody who's just now learning that you're homeschooling, one of their first questions is going to be, but what about socialization? Because apparently the only time kids can socialize is inside a classroom where they're supposed to sit down and be quiet. I'll never understand it. I really won't. But in the Timberdoodle Kits this year, there is a new book by Evan Moor. It's called Social Skills Activities. There's some for multiple age ranges. This one happens to be for 10 to 11-year-olds and is also found in the Timberdoodle 5th grade kit. Now, why is that important? Can your kid just go outside and make friends? Yeah, they can. But you know how that kids learn to handle complex situations and how to handle those more tricky social interactions? With practice. So not only do these books cover your basics, your simple how to make friends or how to stay true to yourself while making a friend, they also handle those little bit more complicated, tricksy things like, what happens if my friend lies to me? What should I do online? What kind of pictures should I be sharing online? My daughter walked in and I had to help her with some stuff. And then I somehow apparently did not record and I had like this whole important spiel. So I will try to redo all that and tell you what I'm gonna say, but I feel like it's just not gonna have quite the same authenticity as it did the first time, and that would be why, because I'm having to redo it because apparently I never hit record. I somehow shut my recorder off instead of turning it on because mom life, I guess. I don't know. But what I was trying to say was your child is not going to learn how to handle those social interactions that are a little bit more tricky and a little bit more complex without practice. And they will learn over time, of course, like we all did. We will learn, you know, trial and error and messing up and making mistakes, which those, I mean, Miss Frizzle said it best. I mean, how are you going to learn if you get messy without making mistakes? However, when it comes to this tricky world where we live in with a digital age as well, I would rather my child have a little bit more foundation than just make mistakes and get messy on this one. I want them to be able to practice those tricky social interactions. I want them to know when it's okay to share certain information. I want them to know when it's okay to share certain, you know, pictures of their house and their animals and their friends. And I want them to know how to tell somebody that, you know, that doesn't make them feel comfortable and they don't want to do that. Or, hey, you can't lie to me, that's not nice. Or, hey, I shouldn't lie to my friends. I want my kids to know how to handle those tricky situations. And that is why I love that these are now added into the Timberdoodle kits, because I think they're really, really important. I know it may seem silly and it may seem like something, you know, your kid's going to do on an everyday basis, but they will do it on an everyday basis, but practice makes perfect. And I would rather my kid see and understand a tricky situation on paper before they see it in real life. And that is where this comes in hand. Now it does also have the like basics everydays as well. It's going to cover a little bit of everything, especially, so it makes it great for like neurodivergent kids who don't really know how to make friends sometimes, or they do know how to make friends, but you know, that social cues are a little bit harder for them. Or even kids without social or neurodivergency that have the same problem. I mean, sometimes we all have that problem. And I want my kids to know that it's okay to be themselves. It's okay if other people think you're weird. It's okay if other people don't like the things that you like. That is okay. And I think it's really, really important that our kids learn all of these little social ins and outs before they're in there making all the messy mistakes, and before they're in there doing the whole, they're not going to learn stuff without it if they're, you know, getting in there and getting messy and making mistakes. But in the digital age that we're in right now, I would rather my kids make that mistake on paper first. I would rather my kids make that mistake and get messy in a make-believe scenario than the first time that they're going through that scenario is in the real life, in the real world where there are consequences and digital footprints everything we do. And that's why I love these books. I'm so glad that Timberdoodle added these into their curriculum kits. This specific book, the 10 to 12 age range, this one's in their 5th grade Timberdoodle kit, but you could also buy it individually. I will leave a link for both in the description box below. So I'll leave a link for the Timberdoodle 5th grade kit, and I will leave a link for the social activities books, this Evan Moor book below. They are sold individually on Timberdoodle, and they're in the Timberdoodle kits. So if you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comment section below. If you are into homeschooling reviews, tips, tricks, motivation, this is the channel for you, and you're going to want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're really, really into it, go ahead and hit that notification bell too. That way you don't miss anything, any of my fun educational videos. A lot of my resources are going to be geared for that middle school and younger age because my kids are not to high school yet. However, there's some great options out there for you but if your kids are middle school and below and you need some homeschooling reviews, tips, tricks, motivation, we all need motivation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you later.